But thank you, all the speakers.
Yeah, thank you indeed. You've been absolutely wonderful. So, how to wrap up such a fascinating day? We've heard so many different things. But before I briefly look back, I just wanted to share a couple of links that might be of interest. First of all, our friends over at Power to Change have a really interesting fund available for supporting community technology and maintenance of community technology. It's so rare to see funding opportunities that aren't focused on the news, so do check that out, and we've popped a link in the chat there. I also want to just say again, thank you so much to Maker Assembly, who have sponsored us this year as in years past, and we couldn't have done this without you. So thank you so much for being such great support and coming back and even being with us as our topics have moved away from some of the early maker-oriented topics that we had back then. And also thank you to every single one of our speakers. As ever, one of the lovely things about the Festival of Maintenance is we always seem to get a slate of 100% brilliant talks, and you were all incredible today, really thought-provoking and sharing so much. And we're deeply grateful for your time in preparation, in talking today and engaging in our discussion. Thank you to all of you in the audience as well, who have been contributing great conversations, questions, ideas, links and citations in the chat. And also thank you, particularly from me personally, to the rest of the Maintain team, particularly Naomi, who picked up the baton to lead on the festival this year, and Zarina and Jackie for helping get us through to today. It was really nice for me to be able to take a back seat, and so I'm deeply grateful to all of you. And if any of you watching would like to help create future festivals, we are just a small band of volunteers, and we love it when new people join us. So if you would like to help continue these conversations in whatever form that turns out to be in the future, do get in touch with us. We'd love to have new folks helping us continue these exciting conversations. It was left to me to sum up today, and it is quite the challenge. Although such a diverse set of talks, I do feel we had quite a lot of themes which kept emerging and running through the different topics. We had striving for the impossible, maintaining even if we think that we cannot necessarily get to the finish line, and using imagination as a force to drive new thinking. I think it was a really interesting angle in that first session about activism and maintenance as well, which is leaving me thinking about many things. We talked about considering future generations, whether or not they exist, or whether they might not want the commitments that we are giving them by maintaining things into the future. The importance of connections through generations and continuity, the idea that something needs to persist into the future, but maybe not everything. What do we need to change in order to maintain things? Do we need material connections? We heard quite a lot about maintaining places and locality, but we also heard about the power of the network for resilience. We heard about online platforms perhaps often being ephemeral. And what does it mean, though, to write a 100-year plan for something like Flickr? And I love the mention of from technologies to meaningful infrastructures. That's something that's going to stick with me. I think at the festival, we always hear a lot about community, and communities came up a lot today. Communities of place, communities of practice, communities of culture, communities of purpose. And there were also a lot of mentions of the natural world, which I thought was nice. As well as maintaining, we talked about stopping maintaining, about stewarding loss, the things that we don't maintain, and the rituals and the importance of ritual around those moments. I thought it was interesting, Andy from Full Fact talked about doing something and sharing it, sharing the working. And George noted as well the importance of describing your materials as soon as you create them. And these things took me back perhaps 10 years or more into the idea where just sharing information was enough. Our theories of change in the open movement 10 years ago, we just said, we'll share it. That's all we need to do. And I think those theories of change the ways that mission-driven organizations and communities explain how they're going about achieving their aims have been evolving. And that comes back to me of thinking about not just maintenance, but evolution and change, and the role of activism, because theories of change are a very active thing. Buying a World Heritage Site, that was another really interesting idea. The work of curation and the importance of building robust and durable systems. With so many things in today that I'm going to have to come back and watch these talks again once they're up on YouTube, which they will be, joining the rest of our talks. I would definitely recommend our YouTube site if you haven't seen the 2018 and 2019 festivals. They too had a great deal of variety, and I think a lot of links that come back to today. Please do follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, like, favorite, and subscribe, as all of the YouTube's videos say. And to close, I just want to share that quotation that we had earlier. Tradition is not the worship of ashes, but the preservation of fire. Thank you for joining us for this year's Festival of Maintenance, and we hope to see you again in the future. Thank you, everybody.